So it's been a year today, May 2nd, that I moved into this house, and I thought it appropriate I thought it appropriate to sort of look back and just analyze what's been going on this past year in my life. I don't know how long this is going to be, hopefully not too long. I haven't taken any notes, so I might be stumbling and saying a lot. Hopefully I don't do that. I'm going to make a conscious effort to not do that. I'm going to play some random music in the background for no apparent reason, because who likes listening to people talk unless there's some good music going on? Although you might not like it. So, I think I'm going to break this up into three parts. We got the bad, the good, and the uncertain. I think it's good that we start with the bad first, just for the reason, get it out of the way. So a quick rundown of the bad, and there's only one real bad. So if you don't know, I'm going to give a very brief synopsis of what happened. So I got kicked out of the house last year. I actually got kicked out the 1st of April. That's a cruel thing to do. You think it's a joke? No, you're kicked out. So I got kicked out the 1st of April 2011 because my mother had an abusive relationship with this voice crack with this person, and I stood up against that and said, no, don't do this, just kick him out of the house, you're worth more than what you think you are. And I guess she took it as an attack on her happiness that I was trying to break up the relationship. I just wanted her to realize that, no, this is not okay. It's not okay for him to go around cheating, leaving you heartbroken. It's not okay that he kidnaps my dog on Christmas Eve and threatens to kill himself and my dog. That's not okay. That's not okay. So she takes him back time after time, and I'm obviously sick of it. The atmosphere in the house is not very good. So I stand up. I stand up because I'm at that age now where I'm not going to let anybody push me around. If anything, I've become a lot more strong through this experience. I don't let anybody push me around. That's something that I do value now. It's definitely standing up for yourself, no matter the consequence. So I stood up, and my mother took it as an attack on her happiness. So the logical thing for her was to not end an abusive relationship, but to sever a family connection, and she kicked me out, and I was put into a shared homeless house. I know that's kind of ironic. How can you be homeless and in the house? But that's what they called it. They have a homeless program where I live, and I got put into a house. Well, basically, I'll quickly run over the homeless thing. It's a program where if you're homeless, they will sign you up and they'll put you into a shared accommodation, and the accommodation is dirt cheap. I think I only had to pay £6 a week to live there. So they put you in that house where you can get on your feet again. So it's not a permanent thing. So you go there, you pay £6 a week, and then you find your feet. But it doesn't have any luxuries like TV or internet or phone or nothing like that. It's very basic, what you would expect. So I got put into a shared house that was about a month, while I was actively looking for a house to rent. And that was interesting. I met some interesting people, obviously. Most of them were out of their mind, but they were interesting to say the least. And on May 2nd, today, I actually signed the lease, the letting agreement or whatever, to rent this flat that I'm currently in. And I've been here for about a year, and that's interesting. So that's pretty much me. That's the bad thing. I got kicked out of the house. Now, I don't know if I've gone into detail, but my sister also got kicked out of the house as well. I think I've briefly mentioned it. So I think a few months after I was kicked out of the house, my sister saw the same as I did and, was standing up and my mother hit back with violence and then kicked her out the house. That was with no warning, no nothing. So I had my sister turn up on my door, you know, in tears, upset, and she told me what happened, and she had nowhere to go. So this was at the time when we had nobody at that point. When she got kicked out, it was just me and her at that point. So she had one friend that could house her, but not indefinitely, because it's a long story, but they can't have guests there to stay over because you just can't, because the government don't like it, because they're getting cheap accommodation, because her friend's husband is in the army, so he gets army rates, and you know, they don't allow anybody to stay over because they see it as abusing the system because they get cheap rent. So I'm not allowed anybody over either. But I thought, you know, fuck that. You know, what are they going to do? Are they going to kick me out for taking in my homeless sister? No, they're bloody not. And if they do, then so fucking be it. So, obviously I took her in, and this was a very uncertain time for us, to be sure. I was pretty strained on money at that point, because obviously I only had to care for myself, and then got another mouth to feed. It was quite a trying time. I didn't have any bed, so I had to go out and buy her an airbed. And it was a whole ordeal. She was insanely upset. We didn't know what to do. We only had each other. So then, about a month or so, no, probably a bit less than that, she told me that she was pregnant, and she said that the hospital have taken tests and they think that the baby might have Down syndrome. So instantly, I didn't know anything about this, so instantly I don't know what to do. I mean, the situation's bad enough, and then she comes out saying, oh god, I'm pregnant, and I'm thinking, oh god, well, congratulations. And then she just bursts into tears, and she's like, the baby is most likely got Down syndrome. So I'm like, oh god, what are we gonna do? So at that point, we did the only thing we could do, which was nothing. There was nothing we could do. There was nothing. So I now have this pregnant family member, my sister Sophie. Still unsure what's happening. It should also be noted that all this time she is actually with me. We're trying to get her a house as well. So she's actively looking. She's actively working in the scheme that I was in. I thought it would be easy because it only took me a month to it only took me a month to get a place, so I was thinking I could take her in and we'd get her a place pretty soon. Well, little did we know it took about 8 months for her to get a house, but we didn't know that at the time. So of course she was staying with me, and we didn't know what to do. We couldn't do anything. Mother didn't want anything to do with us. She's distraught because she doesn't know what she's going to do. She doesn't know where she's going to live. She doesn't want to be a single parent. So it was a very, very hard time, just us two. Sorry. Thankfully, my sister and her ex, the father of the baby, actually patched things up. And that was a tremendous, tremendous help. They're living together now, actually. But that was a tremendous help because she got to move in with him and his family, which was a fantastic thing because it was a proper house. She's not sleeping on an air mattress or nothing like that. So that was really fantastic, and they've been patching things up and they're really, really strong, which is very nice to see. And flash forward, I guess, 8 months or so, and she's got a house. She's only had a house for about a few weeks now, but she's moved in with her boyfriend, and They're taking care of the baby and they're taking care of the home. Obviously, they're still stressing because it's a new home and whatnot. But that was a trying time that we managed to get through. It was emotional, to say the least. So that's pretty much the bad things that happened. Many tears and many uncertainties, and there's still some uncertainties today. But that's the bad. So we're going to talk about the good now. I mean, we wasted 10 minutes on the bad, so let's get on to the good. So my mother was very controlling. She was in a very controlling environment, and when I finally got my own place, I got this fantastic rush sense of independence, and that is fantastic. And because of this independence, I feel free. I feel like a proper adult. So with the standing up for myself, I think, well, I know I am a strong, independent man now. So I don't let anybody push me around. I've got my independence. If there's a problem to be solved, I could do it. It's a terrible way to get your independence, but I'm happy I have it. I definitely value it. I guess the second most important thing was getting YouTube Partner. So I got YouTube Partner on my other channel, PC Gamer 999, and that was a tremendous help for the monetary side, because obviously trying times. My sister was obviously saving up for the baby, and I pretty much was the sole quote-unquote provider. So getting an extra paycheck was absolutely fantastic. It definitely helps and continues to help. Nothing's really changed in the way I make the videos, which I think is a great thing. There's no restraints on my YouTube partnership. There's nothing of the sorts. I can be in complete control. I don't have to promote anybody. I don't have to put a shitty little logo at the start of every video. All you gotta do is just put a little logo on your banner, and that's it. They're very, very good people. The Game Station, I'm privileged and honoured that I am actually into their program, and they have been a big help. When I accidentally deleted 100 videos of my YouTube, that was a bad time, but they got them back, which I'm very thankful for, and I'm very thankful for the support as well of the YouTube community. When I was going through everything, they was very, very supportive throughout all my decisions. And the forced decisions of getting kicked out, they were very helpful, and they've been very supportive since, and I'm very, very thankful for that. I truly am. So I guess another thing is I've grown intellectually. I believe I've taken a great liking to Carl Sagan and Neil deGrasse Tyson, Stephen Hawking, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, all the great intellects of our modern times. And I've been learning a lot about the cosmos, the universe, you know, everything about how stuff works, and I'm genuinely fascinated. You know, I found great self-worth learning about our cosmos. I think the undefined beauty of it all isn't, it doesn't only inspire, but it inflames the imagination. And like, even though that Carl isn't around anymore, his work is still used to inspire, and to that I genuinely am thankful for. I'm genuinely thankful for the people who recommended that I watch his series Cosmos. Inflamed my imagination to no end. My blind in my bedroom is broke and it's always up, so I lay at night seeing the stars every night, and there's just something so magnificently peaceful and awe-inspiring about looking at the nighttime sky and knowing that we're connected. As Carl Sagan says, we're made of star stuff. And to lie after a hard day or a lazy day and to just contemplate that thought and to let your imagination run wild is truly an amazing thing. And I'm very much a fan, and I've gone out of my way to learn more about the world around me, and for that, knowledge is, you can't put a price on knowledge. So probably my greatest asset that I've learned over the year is more knowledge, more inspiration around me. And that's what I love. I love that out of all the bad, not only have I got independence, partner, I've learned so much about the cosmos and philosophy. And I think I've really found a direction in which I want to take my life. And I think that's a fantastic thing. We only live once, so we might as well enjoy it. So that's probably the biggest thing, well, one of the biggest things that I've gotten out of this past year. And I'm always evolving, I'm always changing my mind, I'm always thinking. So what I've learned this year, I'm excited to the possibilities of what I could learn in the next year, the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, you know. I've sort of got a hunger for knowledge now, and I'm loving every minute. I love that click. I can't click my fingers, but that click when something finally fits into place, and it's just like, oh. So I really enjoy that. The past year has been a great, knowledgeable year for me, and hopefully I can continue to learn more as I go on. I hopefully will. So probably the biggest thing was my sister had a baby. Obviously she had a baby, and the tests came back negative that the baby doesn't have Down syndrome. So he was born, the cliche, the beautiful healthy baby boy. And I've held him a few times. He is a bit of a wiggler, but yeah, he's doing alright. I've only held him a few times, but I'm afraid of breaking a baby. I know it sounds a bit weird, but babies have very fragile necks, and when he's in my arms and he's wiggling around trying to be the next like freaking Jackie Chan, just trying to karate chop my legs, I'm scared that, you know, he's going to twist his neck. So I've adopted the shelf mechanism. I hold out my arms, they plop the baby on me, and that's it. I don't move for the rest of the time I'm holding the baby. I am Owen the Shelf, Uncle Shelf. And now we move on to the uncertainties. We've had the bad, the good, and now the uncertainties. So, talking about the baby, so I saw my sister yesterday, May 1st, and when I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything was wrong. So I went in, you know, just to say, hello, how's it going? And obviously she was all puffy faced, and you know, she was obviously crying, and I was just like, oh yeah, what's up? So apparently she had a phone call from the hospital, and they think that the baby has got cystic fibrosis, which is a lung condition. So times right now are very uncertain with the baby and the baby's health. She is distraught. The boyfriend's distraught. And the most horrific thing is waiting. You can only wait. They're getting a blood test today, obviously May 2nd. And they said it's going to be a week before they get the results. And waiting a week is heart-wrenching. I mean, what can you do? You can't do anything. I mean, the best you can do is try to carry on with everyday life, but how can you, knowing that your baby might have a very serious lung condition? I don't know. So it is uncertain, and I don't mean to bring the mood down a little bit. This is going on for 20 minutes, far too long, so I'll quickly move on to the last uncertainty. Is I'm moving. I'm not sure where I'm moving, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I do have a set of rules that I want to have when I get this new place. I don't want to live in a flat again. I don't want somebody above me, I don't want somebody below me. I would rather live in a house that is either at the end of a street or in a bungalow, or just a house that doesn't have any attached houses, basically. Because I like my own little world, you know, it's amazing. I'm not fond of hearing people walk around upstairs. I'm not fond of getting waking, English, it's not very good. I'm not fond of waking up to my neighbor's alarm, because the ceilings are so thin. When his alarm goes off, I wake up. So depending on how generous he is, if he's getting up at 6, so am I. You know. So I want just like a little house, a little plot that is my own. I don't want anybody making noise apart from me. I don't want anything. I just want me, myself, and I. That's all I want. So I think I find it fitting that a year today that I signed the agreement for this place, that I look again, and I look for something that's a bit more, that's going to be a bit more permanent, something that I don't have to move away from for a very long time. You know, I want it to be a permanent house for at least 5 to 10 years. And that's pretty much it. A whole year summed up in 23 minutes. I thank you all for watching if you've gotten this far. Maybe I'll do one of these again next year if I'm still around. Who knows? YouTube Money is actually helping me with getting a better place to live, so I'll probably be around. But who knows? So, thank you very much for watching. I know these life videos can be a bit boring. They're not as fun to do as, say, some of my other videos, like the inspirational videos. I like them very much. Very inspired, once again, by Carl Sagan and his works. But I thank you very much for watching. I wish you a happy May, and I'll keep you updated with the house move when I get a place. I'm going to end before 24 minutes, but I'll keep you updated with the house and everything and how that goes, and the baby, of course. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.